The more that you give, the more it will take. Think about that for a minute. Everyone, if you like the content, please like, subscribe, and share. So the more that you give, the more it will take. This is the narcissistic relationship in a nutshell. The narcissist wants to take, and when they're done, what do they want to do? That's right, they want to take more. You see, it will never be enough for the narcissist. The narcissist has an insatiable quest or quench for everything. They have an appetite for destruction. They have a bottomless pit within them. They have a void, and that void in the bottomless pit can never be filled permanently. As soon as the narcissist gets something, they are automatically, instinctively looking to get something new. The narcissist is a hoarder. They are a collector. They are a mind master manipulator. The narcissist themselves is trapped in that low vibrational state, and they wanted you trapped down there too with them. And that's where they kept you for quite a long period of time when you were in the narcissistic relationship, specifically in the trauma bond, in the narcissistic abusive cycle, and when you were being devalued more and more and more. You see, in the beginning of that relationship, the narcissist hoodwinked you. They were wearing a mask. They were manipulating you. They assimilated themselves with you. They probably sold you a bill of goods, and they told you, yes, we could get married. Yes, we could have kids. Yes, we could have the white picket fence and the 2 dogs, and we could grow old together and watch the grandkids get raised, and we can live happily ever after. Well, that is a Disney-esque mindset that many of us were taught when we were younger. Walt Disney, way back when, was painting a picture of fairy tales, of possibilities. And Disney, we now know, yeah, it's a huge monopoly, and a lot of people still consume their content. I get it. I was a kid once too, but when you grow older, you realize that not everything is how it appears to be, specifically in cartoons and specifically what we were told when we were younger. You see, happily ever after, that's up for you to decide if it is real or if it exists. In the eyes or the tiny little mind of the narcissist, happily ever after is something they want to take from people. And this is why the more you gave, the more it would take, because the narcissist was continuously pushing your buttons. They were testing the temperature of you. They were seeing how much you would turn a blind eye, how much you would tolerate, how much you would stay trapped in the web of manipulation, how longer you would continue to be abused, manipulated, tricked, trapped, brainwashed, be held subservient to them, put them, the narcissist that is, put them high up on the pedestal to the detriment of yourself. Essentially, how much longer you would elevate them, and you would be paying the price to do so. As soon as they realized, this is the narcissist, as soon as they realized that you were waking up, or you were figuring out who they were, or you were catching a whiff or a scent that something was amiss and something was off, usually what would they do? Well, A, they would either give you a little love bomb, and I'm not saying spend a weekend in a cottage having intimacy. I'm saying they would give you a fake smile or a fake smirk or a fake, by the way, the smirk doesn't always mean nasty, evil things. They can give you a fake smirk when you're thinking that, wow, they really do care about me. Oh my gosh, that look, I only see it once in a while. It's so beautiful. Well, there's your smirk. But what they would try to do is draw you back into the web. In other words, keep you back in line, get you back up on the shelf where you belong. When you're in the narcissistic relationship, you don't get a voice. You're being treated less than, you are being disrespected, you are being punished for being you. You're being abused financially, emotionally, physically, sometimes spiritually, every way under the sun. And you don't know what's going on because you were not educated on this. So how could you know that the person perhaps you fell in love with or loved deeply was your worst enemy? They were your worst nightmare. How could you also know that that person knew what they were doing? How could you also know that they had a sixth sense, a predatory instinct, and they could tell and sense who you were long before you knew who you were? I've said this in videos over the almost 5+ years. You, just like myself, you had to lose yourself to find yourself. That is very deep. It's very profound. Those are wise words, and they're true. Think about it. You had to lose yourself to find yourself. What does that mean? What it means is you were 3 people. The first person you were was the first version of you, a person that was living life carefree and independent and probably had rose-tinted glasses on and just living your life. The second version of you was the person who was being peppered with abuse day in and day out, week after week, month after month, at the hands of the narcissist. That's when you were trapped in the narcissistic abusive cycle. The third version of you is the strongest, most galvanized version of you known to humankind. That's where I am. And my hope is that's where you are, or that's where you're striving or reaching to get to. And that, the third version of you, is the real, authentic, genuine version of you. Very few people will reach the mountaintop of indifference, the pinnacle of indifference. You will, if you continue to watch the videos, consume the content, be patient with yourself, practice stoicism, have boundaries in place, maintain your boundaries, become unhooverable, recognize that yes, the mountaintop does exist. I'm there. I have my flag planted on it as high as it can be planted. And there are tens of thousands, probably by now hundreds of thousands of people who have arrived at the mountaintop of indifference, the pinnacle of indifference. And these people have cut the ties from the toxic parasite. The four ties that are cut: the emotional, the financial, the physical, and the spiritual tie. When you cut those, and as you cut those, and it won't be easy to do it, but as you do it, you elevate, you ascend, your mind becomes clearer and clearer, and you realize that the more you gave to that toxic narcissist, the more it would take, and it would never be enough. And as you elevate and ascend, and you realize that there's so much more outside of the four walls of the house that you were imprisoned in or trapped in with the narcissistic parasite, when you realize that, then you say, wait a minute, oh my gosh, that mountaintop does exist. It is real. Andrew's right. Well, I am right, and I'm living it. If you go way back in time to the first video I ever created, March 31st, 2021, that video is called Glad You Made It. Think about why I created that video. That was after the discard for me during the pandemic, left for dead, a person shattered in 1,000 pieces, but a person also who picked himself up by the bootstraps, dusted himself off and healed properly. 2 years and 2 days I was trapped and isolated in that house. In 2 years and 2 days, I did nothing but focus on myself, become educated, awakened, and empowered. And I understood so much more about humanity, about mindset, about narcissism, about toxicity, about empathy, and about myself. You see, back when I was in the relationship, trapped in the web, I didn't realize where I was. I didn't know I was being abused. I had no idea that I was losing myself every single minute to the toxic parasite, and truth be told, to flying monkeys and other people who were peppering me. I didn't know it back then. I know it now. And now when I know what I know, and my hope is you're understanding what I'm sharing with you, you will realize the more that you give, the more it will take. That goes with anything in life. The more that you give, the more it will take. Think about it. Think about what I'm sharing with you. The narcissist doesn't want to contribute. They don't want to improve. They don't want to elevate or ascend or be accountable or introspect or be honest or authentic. What they want to do is continue to blame shift. They want to continue to triangulate. They want to continue to misdirect people and get the attention and the spotlight of their toxicity off of them and onto you or onto somebody else. This is why the narcissist is loyal to nobody. This is why they look for enablers or flying monkeys or people who aren't strong enough to break the chains of the narcissistic relationship. The narcissist feeds off of people. Now this is a little graphic, but it's true. Picture, if you will, a predatory in the jungle. A predator in the jungle. Well, what does a predator do? It seeks out the prey. It eventually creeps up on it, whatever it does. Maybe it's a snake, maybe it's something else. And it just attacks the prey, and then it slowly feeds off of that, and then it has a full belly, goes somewhere, rests up, and pops back out and does it again. There's your narcissist for you. The difference between a predator in the jungle and the narcissist is the narcissist looks like you, they look like me, they talk like you, they talk like me. They have two legs, they breathe the same air, and they blend into society. They're everywhere. They're in your apartment building, they're at your work, they're in traffic, they're on planes, they're in the restaurant, they're in the business meeting that you just attended or the business presentation that you just gave. They are people that were in your family or are in your family. They're your children's spouse right now. Maybe it's your adult child. I can't tell you, but they're everywhere. Again, this isn't a doom and gloom video. It's a video to let you know that once you see it, you can't unsee it. Once you get the message, you need to really run as far away from the narcissist as fast as you can. And you need to realize that the more you gave, the more it would take. It will never be enough. I've said this thousands of times in videos. I will say it again. You could have owned your own country, your own time zone, your own planet, your own ethos, solar system, galaxy, or whatever the next biggest thing is, and it won't be enough for the narcissist. They will always be comparing what you had or what you have to what other people have, didn't have, or to bogus people that are made up, because the narcissist will not give credit to anybody but themselves. They will pepper people with abuse. They will They will do their best to have people doubt themselves and not believe in themselves and keep people trapped in the narcissistic fog, the zombie-like trance-like state. That's where I was living for years, or I should say, that's where I was existing for years. I wasn't living. I was being fed off of. And eventually, once there was no meat left on the bone of the carcass of what was becoming of me, the narcissist throws out the discard and good luck, hope you make it. It wasn't even like that. It was like, well, adios. Having said all these things, once you realize that you were trying to plug a hole of thousands of holes in a ship in the middle of an ocean of abuse, and as soon as you plugged one hole, because the ship was sinking and that ship was yours, once you plugged one hole, 3 more would pop up. And then once you plugged 2 of those, 5 more would pop up. Once you plugged all 5, 16 new ones popped up, and you would be looking around saying, wait, I just patched that hole in the boat. What's going on? There's more springs. There's more springing leaks. I'm sinking. Well, there's your narcissist trying to destroy you. This is what they've been doing. You just didn't know it. Remember what the trauma bond is. Many people claim they were in it. Many people claim they know what it is. And many people, they can say whatever they want. If you were in it, you know what it's like to be lured and feel compelled to want to be next to or with your abuser. That's not a good spot to be in. It's a very life-threatening, debilitating, challenging, taxing way to be existing. But that's what the narcissist does to people. They lure people in with their charm. They lure people in with their rhetoric. They lure people in with their fake stories. They lure people in with the love bomb. They lure people in with, oh, I just need some help, or I just need a roof, or my ex just threw me away and they never loved me. They never cared about me. Or they will say any song and dance they can say to get the new supply or somebody to listen to their sob story. That is what happened with me. Truth be told is this. The narcissist just wants to manipulate people. They just want to take the best of them and leave them a shell of themselves, crumble them up like a sheet of paper, throw them away in the freeway, and disappear and blow away in the wind. Well, that's what happened to most people before you found the videos. That's what happened to most people before I figured out what narcissism was. That's why I create videos each and every day, to pay it forward to those people who don't even know that they need help. At one point, that was me. That was you also. That's why once you see it, you can't unsee it. And that's why you need to realize that if you still have a toxic person in your life, let's say it's your adult child and you're still sending them money for whatever reason, 20 bucks here, 50 bucks there, 100 bucks here, maybe it's more, I can't tell you. But if you're still sending them money and they're still behaving the way that they are behaving, that is never going to change on their behalf in a million years. What you will need to do is save yourself. You see, you can't save that sinking ship. And yeah, maybe it is your adult child and maybe you love them. I get the whole thing. But if they continue to take money from you, well, what's going to happen when your life savings, your 401k goes to zero? Do you think they're going to be there for you to support you? No chance they will. They will look at you and say, well, you didn't have to give me the money, or you should have saved, or what's the big deal? You had enough to give me. I don't get it. See, they're going to blame you. You need to recognize, if nothing has changed with the person you're considering by now, most likely it won't change. And you may be holding out, excuse me, you may be holding out saying, well, there's a little breadcrumb in me thinking that that person can change. And there's a little light in there, and I know that they can be good when they want to be. Well, let's jump on that for a quick moment, then I'll close the video. If what you're saying is true, and I was there for a period of time, think about this. If there's a little breadcrumb of something inside of this person you're considering that they can be good when they want to be, well, then why aren't they all the time? Play it, and play it a few times. They're not because they don't want to be, because they can't be, because it's too painful, because they know that they can manipulate people and have people do work and do things for them, which is why the more that you give, the more it will take. You see, the narcissist knows what they're doing. They were spying on you. They were watching you from up close and from afar. They're probably still spying you right now if you're on social media. They probably still have their flying monkeys swarming around you, whether you know it or not. No, I'm not trying to upset you or trigger you. I'm letting you know what the narcissist does. They will always be comparing you, the one that got away, with the new source of supply. You, the one that got away, with all the other people that they extinguished. You, the one that got away, with all the other people that are still in communication with them. You, the one that got away, that put up boundaries and went no contact and healed with everybody else who's ever crossed their path. That's why earlier in the video I shared this, and I'll just review it for you, and then I will close the video. I shared with you earlier that not everybody reaches the mountaintop of indifference, the pinnacle of indifference. That is not meant to discourage you. That's meant to encourage you. If you made it this far in the video, you're different than most people. If you made it this far in the video, you're craving the answers to the questions that perhaps you had, or right now you have new ones. That's why I pay it forward. That's why I create videos. At one time, I was in the dark. Now I am the light. You need to play that and play it over and over and over again. You too are the light. You have it in you. You need to cut the ties from this toxic person. You need to remove yourself because it will never be enough. They know it, I know it, now you're learning it. That's why once you see it, you can't unsee it. The light is the abundance. The light is the positive energy. The light is everything you have within you that person tried to take from you, and they tried their best to extinguish it within you. You need to understand you can't keep giving to an empty vessel. You can't keep trying to patch up holes in a sinking ship. You can't keep sending people money when they're asking you just because they're your blood relative. You can't be doing things for people that flat out don't care about you. Understand this message. Yeah, it's painful. Yeah, it's true. Yeah, it's real. But that's what the healing path is. The healing path is not linear. It will take time. It will take a lot of time. But in your time, you will heal if you utilize the tools that are provided for you with each and every video I create. That's why I pay it forward. Maybe today you're getting light bulb moments. Maybe you'll play this video tomorrow night again and you'll get another light bulb moment. The whole idea is repetition. Break the cycle. You are the generational curse breaker. Break the cycle. You are going no contact. Break the cycle. You are the person maintaining your boundaries. Break the cycle. You are the beautiful, bright, shining light. Understand what I'm mentioning to you. You have it all. You need to understand that you have to focus on yourself, control what you can control, hear the signal through the noise, drown out the toxicity, maintain no contact, and understand that the more that you gave, the more it would take. That's why once you close the chapter of the book on the narcissist, you need to make sure that chapter stays glued airtight. It's kept in a very low basement with the padlock locked, so there's no way the narcissist can rear their ugly head and attempt to hoover you or attempt to get in your vicinity, your proximity, or know anything about you. So everyone, that's the video. I hope you liked it. I loved doing it from the beautiful Carolinas. This is Andrew. Namaste. Have a great afternoon, evening, or morning. No matter where you are on the planet, you are not alone. I love you all, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. And a couple things. One, I hope you enjoyed the video. I loved it again. Two, I'm back in the area where I usually create videos. Three, it's not as cold here as I thought it would be. Four, it's windy. Five, you need to understand, and these are words that you need to live by. The more that you gave, the more it would take. The narcissist would take everything and more, but not just from you, from anybody who they had access to. What I care about is you. You need to care about yourself as much as I care about you. You need to believe in yourself as much as I believe in you. And you need to realize that you are the beautiful, bright, shining light. And you need to recognize that the mountaintop, the pinnacle of indifference, it exists. As I told you earlier, I'm standing there right now with both my arms reaching down, ready to help you, to lift you up to where I am, and to where there are so many people who also are putting their arms down to lift you up. You need to leave toxicity in the past. You need to live in the present moment, not predict the future, and live an abundant, toxicity-free life. I love you all, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye, everybody. This video was so fun. Bye.